Andrew's presentation on achieving sustainability using AV solutions. Andrew?
Okay,
you,
thank you
please.
very much. Thank you very much. I'll just try and share my screen. So we should be able to see that now.
Yeah.
Can everyone see me?
Yeah, we can see you.
Okay, cool. Right. So yes, mine as we said earlier, my name is Andy Rawlings, and I work for BIAMP in the UK as a sales manager. My sales territories include West Africa and Nigeria, obviously. And I'm here to talk about achieving sustainability using IV solutions. Right. So in the current times, there's a lot of talk about sustainability in business, both as a way of saving operating costs as well as showing your company's environmentally friendly credentials. Most large worldwide companies will also look at the environmental processes and initiatives as part of a tender process. We've seen this quite a lot in the UK, that they'll put in that there's got to be certain things met to by the company. They've got to have certain environmental and initiatives to be able to win a tender or have their products put into a tender. So this is going to put a lot more emphasis on this over the years. So at BIAMP, we have got a commitment to sustainability and environmental responsibilities. So this includes for reducing our carbon footprint by eliminating waste through all of our manufacturing processes. We build a lot of our products in our factories in Portland, Oregon, and Chester, Pennsylvania. So Portland's where the traditional BIAMP DSPs and things like that come from. Some speakers and some microphones as well. And Chester is where the community line of products gets built. So although the cost of manufacturing in these facilities is higher than if we took it out to a second country, it also allows us to make sure that the manufacturing processes we use are as environmentally friendly as possible. So we can get to eliminate waste through the manufacturing process, reuse and recycle raw materials, and we can create low profile designs that only use the essential materials in building. And BIAMP products are built to last. We have products out there that are older than I am. I'm 44 years old now. We've got some community speakers that are out and still being used around. Some that I used to use as a teenager and young 20-year-old to set up local bands and stuff. I know that some of those companies are still using those same speakers that I was using then, and they're still working. They still go. So and they get used in all different types of temperatures, environmental concerns as well. So if you've got high humidity, high rainfall, low temperatures, they will work. We've got speakers and equipment on the front of the seafront in Brighton, where I live, all the way to Red Square in Moscow, to show that it also will handle lower temperatures. And we also have speakers in Africa, in countries like Ivory Coast. We have the brand new football stadium there. That's all BIAMP speakers and BIAMP DSPs and stuff that was used in the latest football competition, the All Africa Cup, I believe it's called. We have long-standing warranties, so the same with the guys at Lenovo. Our standard warranty for most of our products that we make in-house is 5 years. That's our standard warranty. On some of the community speaker cases, that goes up to about 15 years. So we can offer these sort of warranties because we know and we're confident in the build and how we put together our products. So we know that it is going to last. We also, our products are built to be be repaired and not replaced really. So we still do to this day fix some of our end of life products, some of our DSP platforms, the Nexia and Audio platforms that they kind of I've been at Biamp now for nearly 5 years or just about 5 years, and Nexia and Audio were on their way out just as I started, so they kind of got discontinued as I started. We're still getting calls about those products, and we don't have new products to new items that we've manufactured to send out, but there's still quite a lot that we will still do to fix and to keep people running. So we still receive support calls. We've got full support teams based all around the world, so we can still fix the existing products that people have so that they can keep their day-to-day business going, which I think is very good. By AMP, we keep our offices in places where it's easy to get to with public transport. I mean, obviously, we can't make people visit our offices by using public transport, but we do try and put it. So by Brighton, where I live, a lot of cycle paths, easy to get to by trains, easy to get to, loads of electrical vehicle charging points, and we on top of this, we have like on-site recycling, motion sensors to keep lighting off as soon as possible, and bottled water, keeping bottled water use to a minimum, things like this. So there's a lot of things that we do to try and keep on top of our environmental and sustainability promises. And obviously, we have a full brochure available. Just go onto our website; you can see exactly what we do to try and keep to some of these things. So into our actual products, our, our products have been built to obtain some goals for the environmental sustainability. We've recently opened a new office in Sweden that is working purely on designing new amplification products. The Swedish team is former Lab Grouping and PowerSoft amplifier designers that we've got together to work in our team now. So they have been told that their brief has been to design amplifiers that have the best possible functions, but with a look towards environmental considerations and power saving. So our first round range of amplifiers, the Volterras, these do have Energy Star certification. So these amplifiers have been awarded these, so you can guarantee that they'll consume less power without compromising on the powerful sound distribution and reinforcement capabilities that you've come to expect from our products. They also utilize power sharing technology. So on all of the A series, the D series, and the new DM series that we released at Infocom recently. So that means that you can utilize up to 75% of the amplification power through any single channel on the amplifier. So on the case of the analog ones, you're looking at 2 and 4 channel amplifiers. On the case of the Ds and the DMs, you're looking at 4 and 8 channel amplifiers. So essentially, you can use up to 75% of your power down a single channel if that's how you need to do it. So if you've got one channel that's being used for the front of house and in an auditorium or something, but you've also need to run a channel off that's just going to do background music in restrooms of a bar or something, then yeah, you can do that. You can run a small amount of power from one of the channels. You can run the majority of the power down the single channel, and it just allows you to cut down on the amount of amplifiers you actually need to use to do a job. Full 70-volt, 100-volt line usage. So and it can be mixed across the amplifier. So you can use one channel on 70-volt, one channel 100-volt. It doesn't matter. It is how you need to use that amplifier that needs. In the case of the digitals, the Ds and the DMs, it's the ability to process all AVB, Dante, and AES67 in one unit. So it doesn't matter what you're using, what your customers are using. So if you're using AVB, happy days. That's what Biamp loves AVB data. If you're using Dante, if you've got Dante's microphones, once again, not a problem at all. You can still plug them in. You can still use them in the network. Quite a lot of Biamp's equipment now is becoming agnostic on this front. We've got crossover equipment, so if you do need AVB and you do need some Dante equipment, you can use them both in the same on the same system. And once again, optimized design. We've kept the boxes small, kept them small, and cuts down on the space needed. So on the A series, which are the small half rack ones that you can see there, that's half a rack, 1 RU. On the full size, still 1 RU, full racks width, so you can get a lot of our amplifier power into a very small size. And speaker profiles. So we've got, with these new amplifiers, you can use our traditional Tessera based software that we use with all of our DSP products, or you can use a new specialized software that we have specifically for these things, which is called Venue Tune. But essentially, it comes with programmable speaker profiles. So it doesn't matter whether it's our speakers. We also will have speakers from competitors as well loaded on there, so that you can make sure that you are using the right power to go to whichever speaker it is that you're using. And with the D series, with the digital ones, we also have some DSP built into it as well. So the DM series have the full DSP power of one of our X series DSPs, um, so that you can actually use it as an amplifier controller rather than just a pure amplifier. You can then set up zones and things like this in it. So it makes it far more of a cost-effective way of doing it. It cuts down the space in the rack you're going to need, because you only need one RU box to do both amplification and DSP. But it also cuts down on your initial expenditure, because you don't need to buy a separate DSP and amplifier. So now we'll go on to the main DSP platform that we supply, which is our Tessera Forte. It's not just, yeah, it's our main DSP, but it also does include expanders, some parts of control, as well as some video encoders and decoders. So it's quite a large family of products. I won't go into everything because we haven't got enough time for it today. But yeah, as we got told, if you want to set up a training call with Depot and AVNCIS, then that can be done. So we're quite happy to get this done. So once again, compact design. Everything is the Tessera X, the Forte X400 that's at the bottom there. That's a half rack, one RU design, and the full length Fortes, which are at the top, that's 1 RU full rack. So you quickly can add quite a lot of power into quite a small amount of space. And with our rack support, with our rack mounts, you can mount two of the X400s side by side. You can also use the same rack mounts for our expanders as well, so you can quickly save the amount of space you're using in a rack by using some of our rack mounts that can stick everything on the same thing. Yeah, so that's it. Universal accessories. So it will just, yeah, whatever accessories you got, we will be able to rack mount them as well. So once again, we work with AVB and Dante. On the back of the X400, you've got 4 Ethernet ports, you've got 4 RJ45 ports, and they will accept either AVB or Dante signals. So our parlay mics work on AVB, but if you're using, say, a Shure or a Sennheiser microphone, not a problem. Plug it in. We'll be able to use it. They can use whichever you need. With the X400, which is there's the smaller one at the bottom, you also have the bi-inch launch function, which is the first function that has been officially Microsoft Teams certified. So we have team certification on the DSP speaker and mic combinations, but we also have certification for the automatic launch setup function. So what launch does is you can see the little button with the arrow going around it that's on the front of the DSP. You set up with our microphones, with our speakers. It doesn't work in a multi-purpose or divisible room sort of thing at the moment, but if you're in a room that goes up to about 8 microphones and 16 speakers, which is quite a large room if you think about it, if you're using 8 microphones and 16 speakers, that can be launched. That can be launched, and it is, yeah, and that is all Microsoft certified. Uh, so yeah, you just press that button, it lets out some clicks, it measures sort of room reverb, speech intelligibility, things like this, and then it will set up the room to as best as it will sound. And then out the back of the DSP, you'll have a readout that comes out as a PDF that will show you how the system has been modified to make it sound this way, what the part numbers and serial numbers of all the bi-amp equipment in the setup that you have. So this is amazing information to give to your end user for their asset management and insurance purposes. They'll be able to see exactly what products they've got in each individual room. So it also means that, yeah, you can tell exactly straight away how many speakers, how many microphones, everything that is in this room. Finally, bundles mean less time to install. The launch function means that you don't have to deal with costly programming time. But as you can see, the bottom at the bottom there, that's what a bundle looks like. So you've got your DSP, you've got an amplifier, you'll have speakers, you'll have microphones, you'll have all the cables needed to connect all of this stuff together. So you can quickly just go into each room with a couple of boxes, stick them on the table, and that's everything that you need from Biamp to set up the audio of a system. So it cuts down on a lot of installation time, and also it's a one SKU. So the entire bundle is one SKU for you. So you're ordering delivery, checking at the other end, everything is cut down because you've just got one part number that covers everything that you need. We have recently announced that we have a new product called Biamp Workplace. So this takes over from our old SageView remote monitoring software. So what Biamp Workplace is, it's a powerful cloud-based platform that consolidates the features of from our older Voco workplace, which is our room booking panels, and SageView, which was our remote monitoring software, and it's unified it into one monitoring management and optimization software. For at the moment, it's covering quite a few of our products. In the future, it's going to be looking to cover everything that we do. So everything that you can buy from Biamp will be done under this. It empowers integrators, IT managers, and support staff to oversee all the deployed Biamp systems on a unified dashboard. So anytime, anywhere, they can see it as a comprehensive room, desk booking systems. For hybrid workspace, you can see which desks are being booked, which rooms are being booked, when they're being booked, how they're being booked, what products in there are being used. It can give you alerts for any sort of any products that are down, and yeah, gives you any analytics of how the room's being used. Uh, yeah, so it allows you to cover everything that we cover at the moment. So view fully scalable. So whatever size business you are, we will be able to scale to the size that you need. Covers, as I said, all room booking to desk scheduling, everything that we kind of do. So it covers things like energy efficiency. It shows you how products are being used. So if a room's not being used quite so often, then you don't have to have everything on there all the time. It cuts down on energy waste uh, and gives you all the insights that you'd need. Um, so yeah, so essentially, buy-out products are built to work together and to use this buy-out workplace. But that doesn't just mean that we can only use buy-out products with our products. We have obviously team certifications. We have the partnership with Lenovo. So even down we were talking earlier on, even down to the fact that the Lenovo unit and some of our DSPs and stuff look very similar. It's a very nice thing. But we also, as Biamp, have certifications with companies like Barco, like Crestron, many other of the competitors. We have certifications for their products with our products because we know that we would love every single customer in the world to use our DSPs with our speakers, with our microphones. We know that's never going to be the case. We know that sometimes you might love our DSP, but you might like a speaker from someone else. You might like a microphone from someone else. So we make sure that we can be used agnostically across everything, so that you know that whatever you're going to be using with our products is going to work. And that's how you know that we've got a quality product as well, is because our competitors are happy to certify our products to be used with theirs. So what does this mean for your spaces, really? It allows you to get the most out of your rooms, out of the real estate you have in your meeting spaces. Using Biamp's full range of equipment, you can monitor all aspects of your rooms. You can make sure they're being used optimally. By checking on the room usage, you can make sure that your boardrooms aren't being used for simple one-on-one meetings. If there's more appropriate spaces everywhere else, you can say to people, why are you using a boardroom for you to have a one-to-one? Why don't you go and use that little huddle space, or why don't you use that smaller meeting room? You're holding up on things. Also means that there's no more ghost meetings. So these are meetings where people book in and then just don't turn up, which I'm sure we've all had in offices. I know I do it. I have it in my offices, and there's not many people in my office. So using the product, you can see who's supposed to be in that room, and if they're late, you can reassign it. So using some of our products, you can make sure that this happens. So our Voco room booking systems. All your meetings will have the same quality. Yeah, there are some people say I always use that meeting room. It might be bigger than I needed, but the audio quality in there is better. Or that it's just set up better. The panels work better in there. With Biamp, you know that no matter what you're using, whether it's our conferencing bars, whether it's a medium meeting room, so you've got a DSP and speakers and microphones, whatever the solution, you're going to have a similar amazing working environment. So it brings a lot of that to make sure that people will use every room that you've got. Also making sure that we can get the right equipment. I think Depot touched on this earlier. Obviously, a large DSP with lots of mics is going to sound good in most spaces. It really will. But in a small little huddle space, you don't need that. You're gonna just need a bar. With and our bars are amazing. We've got the one of the best bars audio wise on the market. So it's making sure we can tell you what is the best thing for each of the spaces, and we have a full project design team that AVNCIS and you guys can all get hold of, that can help you design what is best for the spaces you have. Uh, we also have online tools, like we have conference room, warehouse, and classroom designers. So all you need to do is put in the dimensions of the rooms and a few other details, sort of room heights, If it's a conference room designer, where the boardroom table is, how big the table is, how it's set up, and it will tell you where the microphones and where the speakers need to go. If it's a classroom, you tell them where the tables are, where the desks are, where the teacher's standing, and it will show you where to put microphones, where to put speakers, and it will give you a heat map of how the speakers will be, speaker throws will be. It will give you microphone pickup patterns as well, so you can see exactly where you're going to be picked up from and how uniform it is going to be across the entire thing. With our warehouse designer, it will show you where you need to put speakers, which of our speakers you need to use, so that you can have full coverage across an entire warehouse of exactly what you're going to need. So you can hear evac systems, background music, anything that you want in the warehouse, and it will give you a full list of the equipment that you can get from Biamp for that. So yeah, AVNCIS, there are partners in Nigeria, and they have the expertise and knowledge on Biamp's full range of products as well. So they can help you design the system themselves, and they've got the full backing, the full support of us in our Biamp offices, pre and post sales support. So no matter what they need, no matter what you need, we will be able to get the thing. And control systems, we do control systems for small, large spaces, no matter what you need, no matter what size of project you've got. So if you've got a very small project that just needs a small touch panel buttons, a small push button, sorry, then yeah, you can go into a room, turn on a projector, lower a projector screen, turn the lights on, all of these things from a panel. And this goes all the way up to sort of large 10-inch touch panels that can cover any sort of product, any can link in with your fire alarm systems. All that sort of integration can all be done from the Biab portfolio. We got new crowd mic systems, so trying to cut down on what you need in an auditorium conference as well. So with crowd mics, it turns the mobile phones of the participants in a conference into the microphones used to interact with the group. So you just have one crowd mic Atom box that links in with the local network in the room and the room's existing sound system. The moderator will have their iPhone or iPad or whatever touchscreen they have. Both the moderator and all the participants need to download a free app from either the Apple or the Android stores. The moderator then can set polls, ask multiple choice questions. These can be answered by all participants. You can also see when a participant wants to ask a question. You can raise your hand from your mobile phone to say I want to ask a question. They can make make your phone live. So then you just press a button on your phone, speak into the microphone on your mobile phone, and it comes through the entire sound system. So it cuts down on needing a few microphones and people walking around the auditorium, trying to find the right person who's asking a question, trying to get a microphone to them. Cuts down on feedback and things like that that's going to come from the microphone maybe being pointed in the wrong direction. People not really knowing how to use a microphone as well, putting the mic too close or too far away, sticking it down by their side when they've got to have it kind of close to them. Everyone knows how to use the microphone on their mobile phones. They use them all the time. So this allows you to get that sort of thing. We have sound masking. So in many, yeah, it's a concept that's becoming a lot more popular, and a lot more of the multinationals are asking for it. So it is going to be come through. It's to increase speech privacy and lower speech intelligibility into a space. So it plays a low background sound that just means that people can hear, so people can't hear the conversations that are going on around them. So you can hear someone might be talking, but you won't hear exactly what they're saying. So it's for important meeting rooms, doctor's surgery, where things will be said that people don't want to overhear. It just means that you can sort that. And we have Biome City, which is what that graphic is at the bottom there. So Biome City is on our website. It takes you through a complete city space. You can click onto all of those spaces, and it will show you what we can supply into all of those areas. So whether it's airports with evac, which I know Depot mentioned CobraNet earlier. Our evac system does still use CobraNet, so that is still being used. Education, you've got controlled DSPs, crowd mics. In hospitals, you've got sound masking evac systems as well. Restaurants, everything like that. You've got areas, so it will tell you exactly what products we can place in all of these different areas. And you can then go to Depot, you can go to AVNCIS, and they can let us know what you guys have got, and we can start designing a system and putting in the right equipment to be in there. And that is me. Yeah, thank you to Depot and the guys at NCIS for giving me the opportunity to talk to you all. And I guess it's time for questions now. I think I was the last person to speak.
Thank you, Andrew. Thank you for the presentation, and to everyone who's spoken, or Mohammed as well. I'm not sure we've got any question here, but one question I would love to ask, and I think this says to Mohammed, out there's always this concern about, well, the processing power and the consumption, power, as well as the, data consumption for video conferencing solutions. What is Microsoft's done from the perspective regarding data consumption and power consumption within, using the Teams Room solutions? Because that's why you've got you go into meetings, quite a lot of people just turn on their audio and no video. And obviously, when you're having some meeting, most of the meeting, you want to see reactions, you want to see, how people react to certain topics, certain conversation. But then the issue of the data consumption and power consumption is the main thing to a lot of IT managers are concerned about beyond the security ends of things.
Well, power consumption is really a device-related thing. So it depends on the hardware. It has nothing to do with Teams or with the software. So yeah, it's a device specification. However, regarding data consumption, if we're talking about the internet bandwidth, so it's relative basically. So if you have a good bandwidth, then the videos will be clear, data shared will be clear. It adjusts itself accordingly with the rest of the components. So audio and video will be affected the same way. If your internet connection is not stable or is a bit slow, then you would see a blurry picture and the robotic sound at the same time while presenting or while opening your camera and while talking indeed. So that is something that is really common between all softwares in that field, that the quality gets affected if the internet connection is not stable or is not good. I can't tell you that we're offering anything like specifically in this regard that is different than other providers. But maybe the slight edge that we are working on to implement here is using AI to enhance that a bit. So using AI to, have a slight edge over such issues when they happen, but that's not really implemented yet. So in that regard, the same that other providers offer, we do offer. And the only good promise about that matter is that it adjusts itself based on your internet connectivity, but it doesn't consume an extraordinary amount of data or anything like that. It's just a normal consumption.
Thank you. Also, going back to the device related bits about the power, I think Paul could say something about that.
Yeah, look, I mean, no, Mohammed's 100% right. So it's all based on the limitations that you have within your space, right? So as I mentioned in my presentation, we've purpose built our PC with a Core i5 processor as an example over a Core i7, which uses less power, which means using less energy and getting the same performance, right? Whether it's a single display or a dual display. The displays, then the next limiter, is it 4K? Is it high definition? Is it 8K? Whatever the case may be. So there is a lot of limitations based on the devices in terms of power and performance. We've purpose built it. However, having said that, there will be a requirement for a Core i7 PC when new AI features from video and intelligent audio comes out. You want a PC that will be able to handle that. So there will be a Core i7, but as it stands, the solution from a power efficiency point of view and sustainability point of view, as you know, Lenovo is one of the top PC brands in the world. So we take sustainability really seriously in terms of the manufacture of our products and then the quality that we give out of it. So then, yeah, I mean, obviously, audio, video, all of that all adds to the performance of the experience, of the collaboration experience.
Thank you. And talking about productivity from the perspective of Microsoft, I mean, the the question I get most oftentimes when I try to tell people about, oh, there's a difference between the client license of Teams Room, and also there's as well as the Teams PC, PC client, PC license. So, and the question is, people always ask is, why should I buy room system with with the devices into the room and all of that? What's the productivity and what's the cost effectiveness of that? I mean, some of the things I said to them is that you're saving on your, bandwidth pressure on your bandwidth, you're saving on electricity, you're saving on even productivity of people, because I mean, if people can do other things if their attention is not totally required in the meeting, but they are just needed to be in the meeting, while they sit in the same room and have that meeting. I mean, Mohammed is there. What would you say to that conversation or that question from the perspective of take investing in Teams rooms or meeting room, dedicated meeting rooms solutions?
Um, well, I would say it is a console that is made particularly for that purpose. And we have offered, based on the fact that each customer has his unique needs. That's why we are offering multiple options. There's Windows devices, the Android devices, and Teams panels mounted outside the conference room, as we saw in the demo. The whole idea basically is about the features. So the features of such devices and the full compatibility between the proximity join and the ability to manage the meeting, and it is made for also available to wired connection with devices. So for example, you won't be 100% sure about the option that it's just one example of hundreds, of course, about the option of when I said that the meeting room is empty and you want to book this room and take it immediately if it's available. So the availability to see free busy information of a device, connectivity with Bluetooth to open Teams immediately. It's hardware, software, dedicated device for that purpose. I understand that you can buy a PC and install a software to play a PlayStation 4 game. Yes, you can do that, but Sony made the PlayStation 4 for you to do that immediately. So that's basically the same exact example here. We're making a dedicated device powered for this specific purpose, and is giving you the latest related to this, to the connectivity between all the devices and the infrastructure in the room, so that you can operate it smoothly and seamlessly. But if you want to work around it, yes, of course you can do that. But if you wanted to have the premium experience, yeah, you would go with the console, as it was made for that purpose. I'll also share with you this article here in the chat, so that you can review the features that you would get um, with the console. You can actually review them and see what type of productivity and boost that it would provide in transforming you sitting in front of your laptop joining a meeting to actually a more effective meeting than a physical meeting. So you can review that and see exactly the compatibility stuff and see how it works.
Thank you. I've got a question here from Abby who says, great session. Are these solutions standalone or client will require some M&E work before implementation? Paul and
Are you
Andrew?
talking about the Microsoft license as a standalone, or talking about
No,
what?
no. I think the whole solutions is in from the hardware perspective to this. So, yeah. So it's just I think the room solution, the different solutions available.
I see.
Yeah, so if I can just understand the question better, what are they looking for there, Deepo?
Well, I think the question is about how to implement what. So is this something they can just buy and bring into the room, or perhaps they need someone to do some, cabling, wiring, and do some aesthetics within the room. I'd imagine that's
Absolutely.
the
Sure.
question.
Yeah, so the solutions as we provide them, it is a plug and play, which means it has the purpose-built image already ready to go. There are also in terms of large deployments, we work well with Microsoft on an autopilot, which means for large deployment, you don't have to have dedicated resource. You can literally upload a CSV file and you can auto deploy the solutions as and when you plug it into your network. From an installation point of view, that's obviously where your integrator comes into play, because there is cabling, there is screens that you might mount on the wall. You might mount the all-in-one collaboration bar on the wall, or you can put it on a shelf. So there's multiple installation options, and that's where you'll consult with your system integrator for, and then obviously running the cables underneath carpets or trunking, that type of thing. So that's where the installation will play a role. But the device, once it's switched on and plugged into your network and you've input your credentials, you're ready to go.
Great. And I think I'll add to that the fact that, so yes, you also have devices that are just you can put on the trolley, they were all in one interactive displays like the Surface Hub, and I think there's other products. I think Lenovo has got a product for that perspective as well. So you can either choose that. It depends on in your space. That's why I mean you require the service of the integrator will be able to review the room and also design the solution that fits best for the purpose for the room. And that's why we talked about standardization on equipment and as well as the spaces you're working with. So it all depends on how you want to play it. It's quite flexible enough. The license works with either a standalone board or you on a PC system. So,
Absolutely. And
yeah.
especially when you're looking at intelligent audio from the likes of IAMP and PTZ cameras, third-party PTZ cameras. So the size of the room plays a role, and that's where the system integrator adds a lot of value, because is the room just walls, or is it glass? So a whole bunch of technical aspects falls into it, and that's where the system integrator adds value.
Thank
you,
you,
Abby.
Paul. Not sure if there's any other question coming in, but another question I would love Andrew to take is BYOM, BYOD, whichever one is applicable to anyone. So, from the perspective of users, usability, and and the room itself?
Right, yeah. So essentially we've got a lot of products that we can supply to help make your room as robust and as usable as possible. So obviously we've got with Lenovo. We've got a partnership with Lenovo. We sell the Lenovo product as well. I can reiterate what Paul was saying. They are very easy to install. We've got a couple in our office that I did myself. So it's you plug them in, you turn them on, you put in your credentials, you're ready to go. So whether that's a Zoom room or an MTR, we've got the MTR in our place because we generally use Teams where we are. They do work. Biamp can then also supply equipment that will, if you want to have your Lenovo there, and that's what's mainly going to be used, but someone will want to come in with their laptop and just do a few things, then we have products that they can just plug in their laptop into the unit, and it will just automatically switch to the laptop instead of from the MTR or the Zoom room. So yeah, that we found that most people do want a little bit of usability like that in their rooms nowadays. They're quite. I mean, most of the times we'll go into a meeting in our meeting room in Biamp, and we've got it all set up on the Lenovo MTR already. All we've got to do is press the button, it starts the meeting, everything works through all of our peripherals, whether it's our speakers, whether it's our video bar, whichever one we want to use at the time. But we do know that some people will want to come in and they will want to use their laptop and they will want to use the setup that they're used to using at home on their laptop when they make calls from at home. So yeah, getting that usability, getting that achieving that is very important in any of the rooms now as well. So through some of the equipment that we supply, we can get that done.
Yeah, if I
Thank
can add to
you.
that, I think absolutely it boils down to the user, right? The user experience. A lot of users are more comfortable because they know where their applications are on their laptops and they know
Yeah.
how to plug in a USB cable. So that's their preference. Whereas, as you know, Microsoft Teams offers guest join on other applications, but there's an education aspect to that, right? The users need to know how to access that. So they tend to take the path of least resistance and they just bring their PC, plug in the USB or the HDMI cable, and away they go, right? Use the room's resources. So yeah, the BYOD, and look, we encourage Teams room solutions because of the added features, benefits, the security aspect, because bringing your own laptop, you don't know what type of security concern your network might have with that. Is the ports working, your USB ports at so it's a great topic. We encourage the room system because it's consistent, it's there, it's on the network, it's secure, and you've got much more features and benefits than a user license, right? So yeah, no, customers still comfortable with BYOD or BYOM, but a lot of them are moving over to the dedicated room system.
Thank you, Paul. And now that would lead me to that question about security, which is always a concern for IT managers, in businesses, and especially when it comes to video um, transmission over the network and all of the, you know, data sharing and the other bits that the IT managers are quite concerned about. What are those features that Lenovo has got in place to give the IT manager. I mean, they know what it is when it comes to their PCs, their servers, and all of that. And you're telling them, oh, all that you need is this PC that enables your video conferencing with the application. And I think there's also it's got to do. I think Mohammed has got some to chip into this question as well. So what's that? What do you? What's available in there with Lenovo that gives the confidence to the client and their IT managers?
Yeah, so absolutely. First and foremost, the Microsoft Teams application is a secure application. We've seen that in many examples with customers using other applications, right? So that is the first layer of security. Then the devices that we supply as Lenovo has an additional layer of security called ThinkShield, and through ThinkSmart Manager and Intel vPro, you can manage all the security aspects of the device through the software, and you can get a report on what's happening. So your penetration test and all of that, you can, as an IT manager, you can pull those reports. You can see what's happening in terms of the device, who's plugging in little toggles or dongles into the USB ports. You can manage down to the BIOS security. You can manage the passwords. You can set your device. So if there's a power cut, as an example, the device can reboot into the last state it's been, or it can reboot and you'll have to enter the security credentials if that is a concern for the customer. And ThinkShield Security, which is just another application on the device, just allows for further attacks from cybersecurity, which you can manage through the ThinkSmart Manager software. So there's a lot of information around that and technical specs that is available on the website, or I can send it off to you and you can send it out to the customers. But the security starts with the application, and the Microsoft Teams application is very secure platform, and that is why it's one of the leading platforms, or is the leading platform in the world right now. Mohammed, I don't know if you want to add to that.
No, what you say is absolutely precise and correct. And also with Teams Rooms Pro, we provide end-to-end encryption. We also it comes with, as I said in the presentation, about the Microsoft Intune and Microsoft Defender for Endpoint. These are solutions for endpoint management and endpoint protection. And also the Teams Rooms is also like the device is registered on the Active Directory for identity protection, so that you make sure that the needed policies are applied there from compliance perspective and authentication perspective. So compliance, that's a different topic, but identity accessibility, when you require certain users from a specific domain, trusted users, to be using this device and using company assets in the first place, you enforce the device management, the device protection, the identity protection. It's like any other Microsoft 365 resource that is applicable under your subscription plan, and what type of security you have in your plan. It will be applied on it the same exact way, like from a mailbox ending with a printer. Anything that is under the company domain has the same security policies and softwares applied on it. So yeah, you don't have to worry about it. Whatever you configure for the organization will be configured for the Teams Rooms console.
Thank you. And could you just add the Teams group, Teams Admin Center, just a little bit about that? How that also helps with the management of the devices, not just the account alone as well.
Teams Admin Center will help you to configure the policies related to how the device should operate. The defenders are the ones for security. But to configure the device from A to Z, that would be from Teams Admin Center. All the features, they have their own tabs in the Admin Center. For example, PSTN calling or voice in general. If we're talking about VoIP or talking about using a phone system, every single feature of those require configuration. So if you have the Teams phone, then you would assign a number, enable the calling, and choosing the location, everything like that. So the configuration is easy for a Teams admin to be done. Like it takes a Teams admin like 10-15 minutes to get it up and running. But the security is not particularly for the device; it's for the organization. And
Yeah.
yeah. That's basically how it works.
Yeah, yeah, I understand that. It's just up to understand how easy you can manage your devices and also your client's accounts, individual accounts, with the Teams admin perspective,
Yeah.
perspective.
It's all about the domain. If you wanted to trust a domain, that only one domain to be able to access these devices, that would be the case. If you wanted your users or the trusted domains, not the verified domains in the organization, trusted domains from your clients, to book the room, if possible, you can do that. It's all about accessibility. When you manage it from there, you would be able to identify how you want your device to be used in the first place and in this room to be used. You can even use information protection information barriers in your organization to make it exclusive for specific users in your organization to be able to use this room. You create a group, a security group, and then you assign a policy to that group. You link it to specific security group of users, and those users using information barriers, you can even hide the room for the rest of the employees. For example, you want to make it for HR only, so that the only ones who can book it. You can do that using information barriers. So the more you move forward with the Microsoft licensing, the more features you get to manage your own resources, including, of course, the Teams rooms.
Thank you, Mohammed.
You're welcome.
Yeah, so I think my final question before we close up this meeting is if this webinar is the live events implementation using the Teams and all the devices from Lenovo and Biamp as well. I know Lenovo has got products. I mean, your pieces, we can integrate it into live events to be able to stream, or get external participants into live events, right? And this is from the business perspective. We've got the live event spaces within their facility, and they don't want to go out to rent a space and bring somebody in, so to run the live event for them. Is that achievable? Oh, wait, can't hear you.
Yeah, sorry, I was saying I lost you towards the end there. I think I'm having a bit of issues with the mobile network. You were saying in terms of live events, what was the question?
The capability of your product to be able to get clients to be able to do live events within their space when you set it up for, so like town hall meetings rather than webinar, like this. Possibilities from that perspective.
Absolutely. So I mean, the live events would then be it's a different application, right? So we do the Microsoft Teams room setup as standard with the core and controller in whichever environment. I think it's more about the performance of the display, the camera, and the audio. So if you're doing large meeting spaces or auditorium type setups, classroom type setups, that's where our colleagues at Biamp will show you how the mic setup needs to be, how the speakers need to be set up, and the right volumes and the intelligent audio that comes with that as well. And then the cameras, which we don't do a PTZ camera as yet. That's a hint of what's coming, but we don't do a PTZ cameras yet, and that's why we then, with the likes of Ava, those type of guys, you can set up multiple cameras as well. So it's more about the AV setup when it comes to events and the application, but the application consistency remains the same. If you're using a Microsoft Teams room application in an auditorium or in a meeting room, it is still the same thing, and that's what you get from the Lenovo device.
And Andrew?
Yeah, pretty much same. Depending on the size of the space you're in, we've got solutions that can go into it. So we do everything from extremely large venues, sort of sports arenas and stadiums, all the way down to a small little room with a 2-inch speaker. It is all dependent on the size and shape of the space you're in, and that will also dictate what sort of camera you're going to want. If you're in a huge room, you're going to need a bit more than an electric pan tilt and zoom camera. If you're in a smaller room, a very small camera is going to be fine. I'm sitting at my desk the camera on my laptop is absolutely fine for seeing me in here. But if I was in a boardroom, a special camera would be a separate camera would be needed. So what we need, if any customers, anyone, if they can come to us with exactly what their room looks like, exactly what they want it to be done, come to you guys with that, then we can put a design together and make sure that it's going to sound and look exactly how they want it to.
Thank you. Thank you. And I think this will bring us to the end of the webinar. It's been very interesting conversation and insightful for me as well, even as an integrator,
Perfect.
and I hope our participants have been able to pick one or two things they could use for their upcoming projects, or even to, perhaps upgrade or review their, AV investments within their business organizations. Thank you very much, Paul. Appreciate it. So from Pam, thank you. I'm sorry for Lenovo, and thank you, Andrew, from Bayamp, and Mohammed as well, was just dropped off. We're hoping to continue the conversation, and we'll be sending out information about that at some point, later in the week or for the end of the month. We just need to agree on time, because there's still more to dig into from AV perspective in the workplace, and the different sectors within the workplace: education, legal, and other sectors. So we'll be continuing the conversation. Thank you, and have a lovely day, everyone.
Thank you, Deepo. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Thank you
Yeah.
all soon.
I think Anthony
Yes.
sent a message. Anthony, we're happy to have a one-on-one call with you if that's what you require. Okay, perfect.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Uh,
Cheers.
right.